Now, it doesn't happen a whole lot where you have a car that you really want and you sell it and you ever see that car again. Even more rare is actually buying the car back. One story that really makes me think of this is Justin SVT and his Bullet, where he loved that car, still loves that car, sold it, years later buys it back. That doesn't happen very often. And in my situation, what doesn't happen very often is where you sell a car and you actually are somewhat local to the person that still has it. You get to go and see that car and, really get to enjoy it all over again. So after I sold my Torch Red Cobra, it's with its second person after I owned it. And this person, when he bought it, he reached out to me, I want to say like last fall of 2023. He found me on Instagram, sent me a message and said, hey, I currently have your previous Torture Terminator. And I'm like, oh, no kidding. And we talked a lot, back and forth about the car. He had like a lot of questions about it. And we talked a lot through Instagram at that point. And we're going into the winter. I didn't have my current Sonic Blue Terminator at the time. I didn't have any car at that point because I had sold the Shelby GT350, sold the Fox body, and I was carless at the point. So, we messaged back and forth for a while, every once in a while. Now we fast forward to this spring where the weather's nice, car shows have started, and we had plans of trying to meet up. He's actually located over in New Hampshire, and I'm in Maine, so we're basically right next door. I'm not that far from New Hampshire really. I'm like the North Conway area. I'm only like 45 minutes away. So there was a car show in New Hampshire that we both planned on attending. So we made plans to meet up, and I didn't really know how I was going to feel about coming across a car that I instantly fell in love with when I first bought it, ending up a couple of years later resenting the car and wanting to get rid of it. I really didn't know what it would be like when the first time I saw that car again, and I thought about it a lot over the days leading up to that. So when the day of the car show came around and I had the chance to meet up with Lincoln, and I pulled into the parking lot where he was parked at, and I saw that Cobra for the first time, it was a really good feeling. And I think the reason why I felt that way was he had told me so many times, not only that day that I got to hang out with him and talk to him about my car, his car, cars in general, is he had messaged me so many times telling me before about how much he enjoyed that car and how happy he was with the build and how I had built it. And he kind of picked my brain off and on a few times about things that really changed with the car. And I told him basically, just enjoy it the way it is. I went through all the headaches for you to get that car to where it is, where now it's an extremely well-handling driving car, where when I first got it and the problems I had with modding it wasn't like that. There was a lot of issues I ran into with that car that I resolved over time. And I told him basically, just to do some simple stuff to it to improve it, but don't, this makes plenty of friggin' power. So there's really nothing there to really mess with on it. So he's been enjoying the car a lot, absolutely loves it. And when it comes down to selling the car, I think your biggest fear is that who's it going to go to and what's going to happen to it. The last thing you want is a car that gets destroyed, wrecked, goes to someone that just neglects it, doesn't take care of it. Because it will make you feel bad that you had something that you put a lot of time and effort and money into and really cared for, only to go to someone to completely neglect it and let it basically fall into disrepair or to wreck it, and then the car is not enjoyed by anyone at that point. Now this kind of dips into the next video a little bit. When I met up with him, there was the first time that I had heard the car with the American racing headers with the cattered X-pipe and the spoiler stingers on it. That car sounds absolutely evil and insane. It sounds so incredibly good. I could not believe how just sinister that car sounded. I had never heard a car that sounded that good before. And you can watch all kinds of videos. You can watch my old videos of that car before I had long tubes on it. You can listen to videos with this car that has long tubes on it but a different exhaust setup. It does not compare to how it really sounds in person. That car is absolutely unbelievable. Now, I've been told this Cobra sounds really good. It has Coupes long tubes, off-road X-pipe, and Bassani catback. I've been told this car sounds really good. I don't disagree. It does sound good. And I don't think the people telling me that are telling me that it sounds good because they're trying to make me feel good. But it does not sound as good as what Lincoln's Cobra does now. I wish I had a sound clip, I really did, but even if I did have a sound clip and put it in the video, it does not sound as good as how it really does in person. So because of that, that has prompted me to make some changes with my own exhaust system. But that is for the next video that I'll put out for you guys. Some updates and some mods that I plan on doing to this car. Because doing the Whipple wasn't the last thing I wanted to do. I'm not seeking big number power with the car, even if it makes really good numbers. I'm not going to start shooting for more, but that doesn't mean that there isn't stuff on the car that needs to be addressed. So because his car sounded so good, it prompted me to make some changes with mine, but that's for the next video that I have coming up, or depends on how they're ordered, but it's an upcoming video for changes that I'm making to my car. So that will conclude the video. Let me know if there's ever a car that you let go and happen to get back, or still were in touch with the owner after the fact of selling it for whoever owned it after you, or if they got sold off a few more times, if you're still in contact with that person in the car, or if there are ones that you let go away that you maybe wish you didn't. If you did make it this far into the video, make sure to leave it a like. But above all else, thanks for watching, and the sub button is down below if you'd like to see more Cobra stuff. Thanks for watching.